David the Blog Dog. Blog Dog. Not yet. So apparently we're having some technical difficulties. D-Dog and Go, can you guys hear me? What's going on? Okay. There it is. Okay, now well, yeah, here I am, and there you guys are. Thank you for joining in tonight. Go figure, we're having some technical difficulties here. Not nice, Blog Talk. Not nice at all. But, yeah, I don't know. It's all good. I'm not complaining. So, oh my gosh, Henry May, please excuse him tonight. He has a family affair going on. So y'all are stuck with just me. Yeah, right on. And it's a good thing. So I'm just chilling. I'm just chillaxing. I'm waiting for tonight's guest to sign in. But guess what? He lives out in the country, and he's having technical difficulties with us getting a signal. It's just like, oh, no, what's next? Oh, I shouldn't even say that. I really shouldn't. I should know better right now. Okay. Mumble, can you say it ain't so? Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm all mumbles or what. I'll try to talk loud and clear. Jeez. Okay. Well, what's going on with that? I'm going to shut this off. Adios. Okay. Signal differently, yeah. Okay. Ooh, dear dog, I'm taking. I'm just kidding, bud. Oh, well, hey, you know what? It's great hanging out in the chat room. I think my guest is on the line here. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. What a great guest we have tonight for you guys line up. I'm talking about Kentuckyan Nick Bryan. He's an independent researcher. He's a Squatcher from Kentucky. It all began for him when he was about 5 years old, believing in Bigfoot or Sasquatch, as the natives will call them. His grandfather told him fishing stories when he was on a Kentucky lake one early morning, bass fishing by himself. He felt like somebody was watching him, as some of us do get that sixth sense. He looked up on the embankment above him. He seen a male and a female, which he called them long-haired hippies at the time, not knowing what they really was, and said that he looked down at him, stood up, turned around, and walked off into the woods, never to be seen again. He said they had hair on them and with no clothes on it. And at 5 years old, Nick put two and two together of what his grandfather seen that early morning, and he thought it sounded like Bigfoot to him. And since then, he has been in love with anything supernatural or unexplained, such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monsters, UFOs, and etc. Now, he's in his third year as an independent Bigfoot researcher out of Logan County, Kentucky. And then now he does a lot of field research and investigations with Charlie Raymond, the founder of the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization. Ladies and gentlemen. Nick, how you there, dude?
What's going on, guys?
Hey,
can y'all hear me?
Doing, man? I can hear you.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm having to walk up and down the road, just trying to keep a signal here. I got one leg up, and I look like a one-legged waitress at IHOP, But I'm trying to maintain it, brother.
Well, all you need now is some tinfoil all over your body.
That's right. I don't know. I may get a UFO encounter then. I don't need that.
It will help with the strength of the signal and to protect your mind from being brain probed.
That's right. I got enough hobbies as it is. I don't need anal probing to be my neck. So we'll keep that as known.
I said brain probe, but okay.
Yeah, we're going to get a few laughs in tonight, guys. I promise you that.
No. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming on the show. Glad to have you on here, man. You know,
hey, I
we
appreciate
actually,
it, brother. I really do.
Oh, well, hey, man, the pleasure's mine, let me tell you. So, I mean, we really just kind of got to, I was just walking around the Ohio Bigfoot Conference, and I was seeing your shirt, and I was like, man, I like that shirt. And with the shirt that he had on, people, it says, Squatch Lives Matter. I was like, heck, yeah. And I said, hey, man, you mind if I take a picture of your shirt? He said, go right ahead. So I did, and then we just started talking and everything, and it was cool because, man, I mean, if you wouldn't have had that shirt, I mean, I didn't know you from Adam, Nick, to be honest with you, you know, and I feel bad because of that, because, heck, I've been doing this for as long as I've been doing this, but I'm glad, because I'm glad you were at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. I'm glad we had that opportunity to meet.
Oh, me too.
I'm glad you wore that shirt.
It was a blast.
Oh, dude, yeah. Was that your first one?
Yeah, that was my first Ohio conference. You know, I went to the Hocking Hills conference last year with B. Mills, and that was pretty awesome too. And you know, but the Ohio conference was just packed. I mean, with some of the best people you ever meet in your life, some of the top researchers in the nation. If Igor Burtsov from Russia would have been there, you know, it would have been the nationwide best squad ever for Squatchers.
Man.
But man, I had a blast, dude. It was, you know, I even brought my wife along. She's not a she hadn't seen them yet. She's not a true firm believer, but she's heard them.
Right.
And she actually bought some Bigfoot leggings for the Ohio conference, so she got a couple questions on that, you know.
Yeah, she's
but,
sporting them.
Yeah, I'm converting her. I done got 3 kids converted over, so you know, next to my wife and anybody else I can try to convert to the tall side. I'm gonna try my best.
Oh man, good for you, good for you. So yeah, Nick, I mean, you gave me a whole lot there to read something from your self bio. Awesome, very cool. So you know what? Just I was wondering if you can. Somebody in the chat room. If you could, if you could kind of just tell us how you got into this and a little bit about yourself, that'd be great, man.
Yeah, bro. Man, like I say, man, you know, when I was about ever since I was around 5 years old, and my grandfather told me that story. You know, it was a little bit later when it sunk in, but you know, I've been infatuated with you know, pretty much. Also, when Harry and the Hendersons come out, and you know, that was my era. Boggy Creek was a little bit earlier, but I've always been infatuated with you know, the mysteries of the universe that we really can't explain yet, and you know, there's people like me and you and everybody else out here that you know, that's trying to answer some of the questions that scratched heads for hundreds of years now. And you know, I actually had a visual encounter 3 years ago. Well, it was 2 years ago. It was March 1st. Actually, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning on March 1st. And believe it or not, here in Kentucky, you know, South Kentucky, I'm like 30 minutes from the Tennessee border. We had 12 inches of snow on the ground for about 2 weeks. You know, and it was the second weekend to being homebound. You know, we didn't leave the house at all. You know, they said snow's coming, and you couldn't find no bread or milk or eggs anywhere on the shelves. So, you know, we stocked up before. I'm an old school Boy Scout, man. You know, yeah, old Boy Scout. You know, it's better to be prepared than not.
So what was all this over 2 inches of snow?
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, it wound up being 2 inches, and then every hour it dumped another 2 on top of it. And, you know, it was 12 inches. But, you know, first time I've seen 12 inches in, you know, probably 25 years here in Kentucky, where I'm located. But, you know, it was great. You know, I just got done watching Finding Bigfoot, you know, a bunch of episodes. I was catching up. And, you know, I go out at night and do a couple whoops and yells and tree knocks. And, you know, I had a buddy that passed away a couple years ago down the road, 2 houses down. And he'd come out at night and hoop and holler. You know, I don't know if alcohol was a factor or not, but it could have been. But, you know, I kind of think we drew him into our little community over here. You know, I live on a dead-end road, probably a mile from town, but it's all wooded areas. And, that March 1st morning, just turned my life upside down. I always tell people, like at the show, Finding Bigfoot, I didn't go out to find Bigfoot. Bigfoot found me, and that's a little bit easier on my legs and patience because, he walked right up to my front door, believe it or not. It was actually a family of 3. And, I come out there at 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been coyote hunting that night. And I just went out back coyote hunting. And I come in and, we had a freezing rain that set in on top of 12 inches of snow. Now, my drain system at my house, whatever idiot built it, the engineer did not do it properly. So, it floods my garage when the drains are backed up and stuff. So I'm constantly out there flushing my lines out with a hoe or a garden hose, whatever. And when I was out there with the hoe and I was knocking the snow off my hoe on the concrete, cleared me a little spot back. And I hear some wood knocks coming from in between my house and my neighbor's, which it's a little patch of woods, probably about 60 yards long, if that, maybe 50. And which is wintertime and there wasn't no leaves on. I could see pretty good, but at the time I didn't see it. So I went back, to doing it, and, I hear clack, 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 clack coming from the woods behind me, probably 60 yards from where I heard the tree knock. I was like, all right, now, this is starting to sound a little bit familiar to, what I've heard on TV. And, I've heard a couple of times out in the woods hunting. I'm a big hunter. And, just couldn't explain it. Well, when I looked up that second time, I see a figure. We estimated, me and Charlie, he'd come down and investigated it with me. And, I estimated to be about 8 foot tall where it was standing at. It was right in the middle of the woods there. And there was a front porch light on at my neighbor's house. Now, I see the silhouette of this figure. And, like I say, he's about 8 foot tall. And he was just swaying back and forth, with his, his arms was even swaying too. And he's right beside a big tree. And then all of a sudden, he ducks in behind it. So I wiped my eyes, wiped some of the water out, and I look back. He steps back out again and does it again. And I was like, no freaking way, dude. I was like, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. Here it is, people that's been hunting for years. Come on, Jake. Come on, buddy. And sorry, I got my dog with me. And I actually see this thing. And it was 1 a.m. I was like, I got to be just hallucinating, and maybe I need some sleep, so I'm going to go to bed. I didn't follow through with it like a dummy. And, I go in the house, take all my wet clothes off, and get ready for bed. Well, apparently right after I go inside, if I'd have looked out the window, I would have seen these creatures, and there was 3 of them. The next day, my wife, she tells me, go take the trash out, honey. And she looks outside, and she's like, well, who's been in the front yard? Because nobody's been out, not me, my kids, nobody. Not even to play in the snow. It's too cold. It's like 3 degrees that morning. And she said, there's footprints in the front yard. I was like, well, I'll check it out. Well, as soon as I got to the trash cans, I looked, and I seen it was in a straight row. Now, I know tracks. I've been hunting for years. I'm 35 now. I've been hunting probably since I was about 6. And the the width or the from step to step, it was just huge. There's no way a human could have done it. No freaking way. So I start freaking out, and I grab my tape measure, and I get out there. I try not to mess up any of the tracks, so I'm trying to walk as lightly as possible, tiptoeing in 12 inches of snow with muck boots on. And I measure, it's a 7-foot stride in between footprints. And the weird thing was they was trying to walk. You could tell there was another set of footprints kind of almost overlapping the footprints that was already there. I kind of found that kind of weird, too. And then every now and then, you'd see 6-inch footprints. And when they finally spread out, I wound up with 16-inch, 14-inch, and 6-inch footprints in the snow. And, it was just amazing. And you could almost see, the more I studied it over that night, I was out there till like 3 or 4 in the morning, wife was like, "Come on, you're crazy. Get inside. It's cold." I had snot frozen my beard and, shivering. But, I was just so pumped up about the fact that there was, Sasquatches in my front yard, and actually they were going from right where I seen the creature the night before, going up to my front window, my living room window. And like the pictures I sent you online, it's crazy. It was a real close encounter from my house and me. I wish I'd have looked out the window. We'd have been face to face. And I kind of wish I did. I kick myself in the ass every day for not doing it. But ever since then, man, it has absolutely turned my world upside down. Some of the finest people on the planet. The Bigfoot field is actually full of very smart, intelligent individuals that are really passionate about what they do. And they really take pride in what they do and don't care what the rest of the world thinks about it. That was a hard transition for me over the past few years, especially around here. Everybody wants to keep it under wraps, or they'll be called crazy and ridiculed, and the fear of losing their job and all that. But I come on out with it. I come out of the closet with I've seen a squatch. I'm a squatcher now, so it's just been absolutely amazing, Abe. And I can't wait till the next encounter. I can't wait till hopefully next time he finds me again, because we've been doing a lot of hiking recently. I'm starting to get cramps and all. So, but yeah, man, it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm going on coming up, going on 3 years, getting close to it, and actually next weekend I'm going on another trip with Charlie. We're going to take a trip to Georgia. And I'm not going to say the location or nothing for all y'all hoaxers out there, but yeah, we're taking a 4-day little squatching adventure, and hopefully we have another encounter then. But it's just overwhelming with the people that come out of the woodwork after you open up to the public and say, hey, I believe in them, and 100% they believe they're real. I don't believe, I actually know now. So it's a big difference from knowing and believing.
So in your front yard, you got Bigfoot traveling front yard.
Yeah, in my front yard. And, like I say, it was like I did pull a little Sherlock Holmes out of my pocket and, with a tape measure and just looking from where they took off walking and what they did, I figured that to be the big male that I've seen. And the young one was with him because I found 6-inch prints back there. He was playing around in a tree back there, too. It's probably why I couldn't see him. And, he come walking up around the corner where the woods opened up, and from the corner of my yard straight to my front window, they took their – It took me 21. Here's just a little bit of let me describe what I did. In muck boots, in 12 inches of snow, I took 21 running jumps, and I'm pretty athletic. I'm not Michael Johnson. I can't jump that far in 12 inches of snow, but I tried. It took me 21 running jumps in muck boots. They took 7 steps from the road to my front window. And everybody's like, well, somebody's messing with you. And I was like, I don't even think a Olympian, one of the best we have, could actually do that in 12 inches of snow. On top of that, 1 foot in front of the other. There's not another bipedal animal out there, or a creature like us. I call us creatures, but because some of us are. And, we don't walk 1 foot in front of the other. Pigeon-toed people don't walk one in front of the other. Maybe a one-legged waitress at IHOP. Yeah, she walks 1 foot in front of the other, but that's probably the only one that walks 1 foot in front of the other is a one-legged waitress. But sorry for all y'all one-legged waitresses out there. I didn't know offense. But I'm not discriminating for all the hoppers out there. So, but yeah, man, it's absolutely nuts. The distance these things can take, and and just one step to the next, and not even, they were just regular strides, like we were walking down the street, like I'm doing now, and it's just 1 foot in front of the other. And you know, from all the research I've done with books and TV shows, Finding Bigfoot, and talking with Charlie later on, you know, every row of tracks that has been discovered has been 1 foot in front of the other, unless they're, you know, having to sidestep around something. And, you know, it started walking up, and I could see where the big male, he stepped to the right, stepped out of the track. I guess the mother went on towards the house to see if I was in bed or not, and he cleared a spot around my persimmon tree in the front yard. And I don't know if it was to warm the baby's feet up or what. You know, that's what I'd take it as. If you know, I was barefooted in 3 degrees, 12 inches of snow, and
right.
I guess put the baby up in the tree while they went through my garbage can. Which you know, put 2 and 2 together, 12 inches of snow on the ground for 2 weeks. Just with common sense, you know, they're hungry. There's no vegetation. The deer's laying down. Some animals in hibernation. Very hard to find food for 2 weeks like that. So,
really?
you know, I tracked them out from my house to my neighbor's house and on down the road towards town. They was just rummaging through trash cans, you know, trying to make a meal out of it. So, you know, I just found that kind of amazing, like how you just watch the story unfold with nothing but a footprint. And, you know, it's like a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, so is a footprint, you know, if you really look into it. And thank God
right.
the snow didn't melt for another 3 days. So I was out there another 3 nights, you know, just trying to glue all the pieces together and, you know, and see if there's anything else I can come up with. On top of trying to make casts in snow, which is, I recommend, it's real hard. I wouldn't try. But, you know, you lose the toes every time. But I did make a lot of casts off of it, Abe. And the best one was where he cleared the snow back by the persimmon tree. And, you know, where he was standing there, I guess, putting his young one up in the tree, he was standing flat-foot. Well, I get a left footprint. It's absolutely perfect. Now, other than, you know, I found it's got 4 toes in it. The pinky was lifted, which I have seen quite a few tracks where, you know, where they'll have 5 digits and then they'll lift they'll lift another digit. I don't know why, but they don't wear socks like us or tennis shoes, so they can do whatever they want with them toesies. But you know, all the rest of the prints I found in the snow was 5 digits, so he didn't lose it at a Sasquatch battle or nothing. But you know, I just found it so awesome what you can find off of a footprint. And actually, that footprint there, I do, and I still have. It looks to me like it's about a 2-inch long, reddish brown hair, and it's just a little wad. You know, it's probably 6 to 8 strands of hair, you know, in a ball there. Still in the cast. You know, it come out with the cast. And you know, I need to get it set off for DNA, but I'd feel kind of stupid too if it come back as grass. But I don't know. It really just doesn't look like grass, even underneath the microscope, dead grass. But it just didn't have that texture. And
so you did put it underneath the microscope.
Yes, I did look. My microscope wasn't too great on my Galaxy 6 at the time, but it was better than I didn't have a laboratory to go in. But you know, I looked at it under, you know, high LED lights and with my microscope on my phone, and you know, it looked like hair, almost like human hair, but dungy. And you know, like I say, it was kind of a reddish brown. There's some red strands and some brown strands. You know, and most depictions of not depictions, but encounters, visual encounters, people describe them having reddish brown hair, which further evidence they can have white hair, black hair, you know, you name it, just like us. So, you know, it's truly amazing what you find with a footprint. And you know, most encounters, it's hard to have a visual encounter now after you get into squatching. When you're in the woods, you're constantly looking for footprints, and all around you, trying to catch another sighting. You know what I mean? And But it's truly been just an awesome journey, and it's one of the greatest hobbies, I've ever picked up on, and just a childhood dream, to actually be living it now. And, Abe, actually, I tried to get into cryptozoology into school. And Jake,
really?
Yeah, I sure did. Jake! Sorry, my dog's chasing another one. It must be in heat. Uh-oh. We got a dog fight on our hands, guys. The show is getting active.
Yeah!
Jake, come on. All right. Everybody put your bets down. The golden retriever or the husky. No, Jake, come on, boy. Uh-oh. Time to get him back to the house. But, man, it's just been wild. And especially to run into you and have this opportunity to share my story with the world even more. I just feel I'm tingling all over. I get nervous every time I talk about it because it just excites me so much.
Dude, I totally know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I can tell that the passion is burning bright inside of you, man.
Oh, it is. I got a beep coming in here. Sorry, but it just has just an amazing feeling. Jake, come on. Hey, get back. You hear him? Quit grabbing his tail. Oh, it's getting interesting. He's trying to mount her. Come on. Hey, it's real bad. Hold on just a second, Abe. Jake, get back to the house. Jake. God, dog. Hey, go on. All right, I got him in the bushes. We're good. One of them's going to win, one will lose, so I'll just let them at it. It's fine. We got a show, so carry on. I got Band-Aids at the house. We're good. But yeah, man. And, I bet you have the encounters pouring in up there with 10,000 lakes, man. That's just amazing, how much water there is up in your part of the country.
We got some water, don't you?
Yeah. They will not go thirsty, my brother. I'll tell you that. And bless their hearts if they don't learn how to swim.
Oh, man. You crack me up. For
yeah,
people who are just saying, go ahead, man. Okay. So I was just going to say, for people who are just joining us, we got Kentucky researcher Nick Bryan here hanging out with us tonight. And for those who are just joining us in the chat room or on Facebook Live, Nick has actually had him come up to his property in his front yard. And my brother Nick's trying to give me a call right now. This is phenomenal stuff. I mean, how often do you get a chance to go out and do field research and investigations?
Can you say that again? One more. Sorry, there's chickens over here.
How often y'all get to go out and do research?
Within home, I'll go out at nighttime after I put the kids to bed, and since they come to me at my house, I figured I can do a lot of research here just around my house. So I do it probably at least once a week around my house. I go out probably maybe once a month, twice a month if I'm lucky. We just had a baby about 10 months ago, and it's kind of pulled me back inside a little bit. But I love that little Bigfooter. At 6 months old, you have to check my video out, man, on Facebook. He was making Bigfoot growls. At 6 months old, you got to break them in right down here, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, man.
With that being said, Nick, you get to research around your house. How is the activity when you go out and research around your house?
I found over the past couple of years I have a little bit better activity towards the wintertime. Going towards the end of fall. After rifle season, all these crazy rednecks down here with rifles just go nuts when a deer with antlers walk by. So, that kind of puts a damper on them during gun season. But, as soon as that falls off around December, January, the activity picks up, man. Maybe 2 or 3 nights out of the month, you know, which I know that they're moving. This wood line goes from the end of my road, and it pretty much doesn't stop until about 2 counties over, and it's a massive piece of woods. There may be a house very seldom here and there with rivers going on. But with that being said, you know, I'll get tree knocks. I haven't had too many screams. I've had one scream, just a couple whoops, and the whoops that I did have was just right in front of my house on top of the hill. You know, it was kind of cool because the kids was out here, and actually my daughter was the one that did the whoop, and she gets a response. And right after she pulled her whoop, I went, woo! You know, like an exciting one. And I get a woo back. And I was like, wow. And kids were just ecstatic, man. They were just like, oh, my God, that was a Bigfoot. Like, you're right, guys. It sure was. There's your first, sound encounter of a Bigfoot there. So, you know, they're hooked just like I am, man. You know, if one for school and ball and everything else, camps, you know, they go with me a lot more. So then they're gonna be my new team down here in Logan County. We have most of the people down here that don't want to come out publicly and, you know, say they do this. So, you know, I'm breeding my own team right here, brother. but you know, going back on my wife, my wife heard one. You know, me and her, we come outside. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, and we just put the kid down. We were smoking a cigarette. Yeah, we're support tobacco down here. And, you know, I said, I'm going to make a whoop. She said, don't do it, Nick. Don't do it. I was like, yeah, man. Just chill out. Let me do a whoop. And I do a whoop. And right across the road, man, probably 65, 70 feet from us, just right inside the woods, we hear, you know, the deepest growl. Man, yeah, like, it was unreal. Unreal. She said, she ran inside the house, actually, dropped her cigarette and said, is that a lion? I don't think Leo escaped from the jail, baby. I said, truly, I think that was a Bigfoot. You know, it was just the deepest bellow growl you ever heard. And you could actually feel it in your chest.
And again, has this taken place in the colder months?
Actually, this was in, like, June, which was one of my very few, you know, hotter. It's kind of hard going out through here with all these cedar and pine thickets without getting ate up with deer ticks and we got rattlesnakes real bad too down here. And but I got me some snake-proof boots and some damn good spray. So, you know, when I do go out here, I've heard just a couple knocks, you know, around the warmer parts of the year. A couple of them in May. I had a couple in May back here in behind my house, and they was from 2 different directions. You know, so I made a knock, and one come from my right side, and then about a minute later, one come from the left side up on the hillside. And, you know, it's kind of hard to make time, you know. You know what I'm talking about when you have kids and all these activities going on and you're tired. And, you know, squatchers have to kick in a 7th gear whenever they're out. If you want to stay up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, hooping in a holler and knocking on trees and stuff. But I guess that's why people call us crazy. But, you know, guess what? I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that. You got to be, man, to put the research in. You just got to have that extra crazy hair in you to, to put it out there. Yeah, I'm telling you.
You got a question for you,
brother. All right, bro.
We got this one is from Mark Maychek. Has the guest ever heard of Big Mo or seen him?
Big Mo? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Big Mo, and actually, you know, me and Charlie was walking in one of our hot spots last spring. No, excuse me, last fall. And, you know, we was just talking. We had another team up on the hillside, and, you know, we have our radios. We're like, all right, you know, we're fixing to make a whistle in 10 seconds, the other team said. In 10 seconds. Okay, so it's just me and Charlie walking down this trail 300 yards from where they're at. And about 3 seconds after they got off the radio, we hear coming from the right side of us, just down in the hollow. And I looked at him, and I was like, Charlie, So we got a whistle, and I only got 3 seconds here on the clock, man. And then they made their whistle, couldn't even hear it. They come over the radio and say, hey, did you hear it? Did you hear our whistle? We just did it. And no, we couldn't hear it at all. But actually we had a whistle within about 60, 70 feet inside the woods, in our hot spot. And, we just started glowing after that, especially Charlie. Charlie's just as crazy about squatching as I am. I love him to death, man. But, right after that, I said, how crazy would it be, Charlie, if we got a tree pushed over at us? He said, well, who's going to push who out of the way if the tree's coming at us? And, we kind of laughed about it a little bit. And we walk on down to this little horse. You tie your horses up there if you got one. And, we sit down for a minute, real quiet, and none of the rest of the team making no noises or nothing. And we're sitting there, we hear tree push over, no wind, no even hurricane season in Kentucky. And this tree, it sounded, yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was crazy. And, I've heard them deer hunting with no wind at all. But this thing was a little bit too close for comfort, When he said, who's going to push who out of the way? We was just going to take each branch as it come, man, because it was fairly damn close. It's probably 50 feet in the woods, 50, 60 feet. Some of these trees are pretty damn tall, but I just don't think it was a deadfall, because on the recordings, his recorder didn't pick it up. Now mine picked it up, but my dumbacity kicked in when I was at Walmart and did not read the back of it, so I couldn't. It wasn't. I couldn't put it on a app on my computer, my laptop, and actually go over it. So I just had to listen to it by headphones. Well, I go back to the time, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and you kind of hear like a grunt as it was pushing. It was kind of faint, but it was completely awesome. Kind of told me, hey, this is not deadfall. We had a tree pushed over. Coincidence of me just about it. I don't know if he heard us or understood English or what, but he did. He pushed the tree right over it.
We got another question for you, Bubba. And
okay, go ahead,
bro. All right. This one comes from Ramble1. Has he tried doing one of those long siren calls from your home?
Like the Ohio call?
Yeah.
Like the Ohio howl? Yeah. I got a good one of those, man. I'll let them bail every now and then. It gets it's what the cool part is it gets the chickens, it gets the dogs, it gets the coyotes, it gets the donkeys down here just start crazy. They all start going nuts when they hear some calls like that. Yeah. And, I don't know if they're scared of it or what, but, it scared the shit out of me, too. I'd drop an egg or two if I was a chicken if I heard that. You know what I mean? And, having a growl, it is, man. Yeah. It'd be hard-boiled or scrambled, probably. Maybe sunny side up if it's too close.
That's great.
But I haven't. A faint tree knock off one of them, and that was about it. But I don't do it. I got houses pretty close to me, so I try to respect my neighbors, and I don't try to yell too much. But I do on occasion when it's real quiet, no wind. I let one belt, and most of the times I'm doing tree knocks. I get more responses off of tree knocks and whoops. And actually, whoop woo, whoop whoop falling. And Charlie actually, he asked me to try this. It worked for him a couple times, and when he was investigating, and to do a whoop, and then a whoop, tree knock, immediately afterwards. And I've got one encounter like that, probably about 8 to 10 miles down from where I'm at. where I've had some other activity, where I think this family of Sasquatch are migrating to, in the summer months, because there's a lot more wildlife and vegetation back there, and less people, less contact with humans, and it seems to work. We're just learning so much more stuff, every year, and even they're finding out new stuff. The ones that's done it for 25 years and 30 years. I know one guy that's done it for almost 40 years plus.
Right.
He's a veteran squatcher, but it's just amazing. It's trying to understand their language. You know what I mean? Because it is. Some of them say they have samurai chatter, which would be crazy to hear in the woods. But we've heard so much stuff on recordings, and I don't know if you've heard of Mahogna Gila. Are you friends with him on Facebook? Or ever met him? It's Mahogna Gila is the name he goes by. But he's pretty much a specialist in recordings, and is actually, I'm not going to say he worked pretty high up in a business that I'm not going to explain here because he's still working for him. But he just knows so much about computers and how he can take vocalizations and that are recorded and just knock out all the background noise, and pinpoint it out. That's a fox, that's a badger, that's a bobcat, or a owl, or coyotes, or they're pretty close to some calls that Sasquatch even do. But
right.
This guy can pinpoint it and actually give proof to the existence of Bigfoot if it's accepted by our government and our great government. And it's just awesome that he can do that. He has the years and also the technology to code it. And it's just with the more technology comes and advances, we're finding out what works, what doesn't work, and just weighing it out. And Abe, I truly believe there's plenty of evidence out there for the proof of the existence of Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you 110%, Max. But the thing is that science wants a body. Or I hope that one day somebody's going to get that great footage, HD, 1080p, full depth, high def, 4K, whatever you want to call it, that high definition footage out there.
The Gimlin Patterson 2000,
Right, exactly, man. Totally. And hopefully that would. I pray that would be the end all of it right there.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Like I said, this deep down inside, and I hate to say this, I hate to say this, that science wants a body. They want to take it apart. They want to see what it's made out of. They want to do the testing and see what it's related to. How close is it related to us? Where does it fit on the tree of life? Oh, man. But, man, yeah, so...
and also, and to add to that, who's to say that they already had a body or 50 bodies, as far as we know, and
they definitely do.
Because
when Mount St. Helens blew up, man, there's stories of the Army Corps of Engineering going up there and retrieving bodies. Well, hold on, man. Before I get too excited, I got a question here from you. Got a couple questions here from you. One from Facebook Live. This one's from Don Bigfoot Neal. Says, think about an area near him called Hollow Bill that has had frequent Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Don. Hey, good to hear from you, buddy. Hey, Don Neal's one of my squatching buddies. He's with the KBRO, and him and Charlie's doing an awesome job with him. And he's actually done. There's been some encounters at Hollow Bill, which is only probably about 15 to 20 minutes from my house. Headed towards Don's way in the county that he lives in, and he gets a lot of activity. I mean, a buttload of activity. But going back to Hollow Bill, I had a guy approach me, and he's seen I had a Bigfoot shirt on, and just like you, it drew him in. And he started asking me questions about it. He said, "Would you call me crazy if I told you I seen him?" I was like, "Well, no." I said, "People call me crazy every day. it's nothing. Just he said, but in my line of work, man, he said, I just can't tell nobody. And it's not just me. My father also seen this creature. And I said, okay. I said, so creature. I said, you definitely seen a Bigfoot then? And he said, yes, sir, I did. He said, we was coming home late one night, and they pull up into their drive, and Hollow Bill's a real narrow, they just cut the rock out, it's just, they barely get a house on top of it, or a driveway even put there. So as they're coming up this steep incline driveway, here's this Bigfoot standing by the edge of the woods by their house. And his dad just stops the car, and, he was younger at the time. I think he was in his late teens, he said. And he, they seen it. And then, him and his dad just looked at each other and was just like, oh, what is this? And he's probably getting close to 60, my friend is. And, this was back in the 70s. It happened. And, it just wasn't heard of. Nobody talked about it on TV that much or if you didn't hear it on a radio broadcast from Boggy Creek or something like that, you wouldn't really think about it, or the Yeti. And that's what they actually said, we've seen a Yeti. That's what they referred it to as a Yeti. And
that's just 14 minutes away from your house, huh?
Yeah, like 15 minutes from here, man.
Now, if you think about that in relation to how fast they can really travel, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, if they took 7 steps from my road to my front door, and it took me 21 running jumps, they can cover some ground just walking. And, I'd be out of breath just running. It's in the same bunch of woods that's coming by my house. It's going by Hollow Bill. And towards Hollow Bill, it's just swamplands. You got rivers. You got a lake, Lake Malone's back there, and abundance of woods, and not a whole lot of people. And it's not really farmland. It's not all cut down. There's a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, a lot of deer. So foraging for these animals would not be a problem at all. That's why I have less activity, I believe, at my house. Until winter time, when the resources get scarce, and they're actually trying to eat. They're trying to find a buffet somewhere, and they're pretty smart as they are. Which Dave, let me go into this and tell you. I meant to mention this earlier, but I actually live in between our city dump, which has actually been shut down this year, and Griffin Industries, which they take all the dead animals and process them and send them to Hill's Dog Food Plant up in Bowling Green, and they make dog food out of it. But there's dead animals always sitting out by their buildings, cows, horses, truckloads of chickens, you name it. It smells like a big burial ground for animals, and it's wretched smell when you're around there, especially when they're cooking. But it draws in some of the biggest and best predators that we have in
man, they're just
Kentucky.
making hot dogs, that's all.
Right. I mean, it's just unreal. I mean, sometimes I don't want to go outside because I don't want to smell it. If the wind changes direction, I get to smell it. Not the dump, but I smell Griffin Industries, and you can actually smell it all over town some days. And it has to just draw in, massive amounts of hungry ass animals out there, predators. And to add to it, I've actually seen a cougar. Not just me, a couple of my neighbors. A cougar, which Fish and Wildlife said they do not exist in Western Kentucky, which, I can tell them right now they're completely wrong, 100% wrong. They do inhabit Western Kentucky, maybe a very few number of them, but they do inhabit this area, including Black Panthers. So that's actually our mascots, our school mascots, Logan County Cougars and the Russellville Panthers. They did inhabit this area at one point. They thought they was pushed out or killed out, but they're actually still here. And it actually stalked me back to my house, me and my cousin, with no weapon, no firearm, nothing but a squatch stick. And I would have beat that cat to death if he with that squatch stick if he got close.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think about the squatch sticks?
Oh man, it's awesome. I got one hanging up down here, but I made my own. because I like a walking stick and a squat stick in one. I actually had one. Let me go back to when I was in childhood. My scout leader, Ken Fear, he wound up dying from cancer like right after we got out of high school. And his wife was having a yard sale and stuff. But, he taught me a whole lot in Boy Scouts, and I really looked up to him, and he was a great scoutmaster. And he made this walking stick, one year when we was camping out at Kentucky, towards Kentucky Lake, and she actually had it at the yard sale, and I said, "Ma'am, I would love to purchase this from you." She said, "You know what? It's you're such good buddies with our son and my husband." She said you could have it. And, I cherish it. I use it. It's my lucky squat stick. So I haven't quite found the time to set it up and pull the store-bought squat stick out yet. So I'm still having a little luck with mine. But it's awesome. I mean, you find one that makes that certain sound, hold on to it, man.
That's really cool. Really, really cool. You know what? Since we're talking kind of like on the brink of equipment and stuff like that, what kind of equipment do you usually find yourself taking out in the field, or what's your favorite piece, or what do you want to get?
Truthfully, I kind of like the night vision. I got a Nighthawk, single-eyed night vision scope. I bought at Cabela's. I also have a thermal imaging camera, which it plugs into my phone. It's one of the cheaper ones, but I love it. You can do so much stuff. I actually bought it from Charlie Raymond. Charlie, and it just has so many settings on there. Plus, you can record. Some of these high-dollar ones you can't record. Well, this one you can, and I like it until I change phones or I lose it or sell it. I'm gonna hold on to it, and just those three things right there. My squat stick, my night vision, which I use quite a bit, it shows a lot of eye shine. If you're gonna pick up anything, you're gonna pick up eye shine with the night vision, and you can actually see a little bit further with that than you can a therm, unless you have a real high tech, real high dollar one, $5,000 plus. But that's mainly what I pack out, man. Maybe a coyote call. I do like making coyote calls while we're out. We have found that we actually think that they hang around or they actually run with the coyotes around here. Because most vocalizations we have, the coyotes either respond to, or we'll have a vocalization and the coyotes sound back off to them. I don't know if they're like just like us with dogs. We train our dogs to hunt. Who's to say? They are very intelligent creatures, and who's to say they cannot train, a wild dog to help them hunt their food. This has also been a theory, among other squatchers also. But in one of our hot spots, that they run hand in hand. If you get a squatch call, you're going to get the coyotes coming straight to you. Also, I actually got run out. Charlie had me walk off without him to do a little, solo squatching while he had, his upper respiratory infection. So he sat down and chilled, and I did my thing, and I did a whoop and a knock, and the coyotes started sounding off. They kept getting closer and closer. Well, they shut up, and then I get a woo, and then from my right side, and then a woo from my left side. And we actually got that on recording. And they were like beelining towards me. Yeah, they were coming right to me, man. I don't know if I was fixed to be a buffet or what, but I got the hell out of Dodge, brother. That's I shit you not. Yeah, and I mostly don't run from fights, but that fight is just too damn large for me.
Yeah.
And I told Charlie, I said, "Man, we got to get out of here, dude." I said, they sound pretty hungry, and they were all the pack of coyotes, and it sounded like the two Sasquatch house was coming straight towards us. And as we was going out, we heard another vocalization too. But it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And on our way out, I left a thing of tuna fish. One of them tuna packets you get at Walmart. Well, I put some up in a tree branch, probably about 6 feet up in the air. Just sprinkled some on the limb, and I stuck the packet right up next to it. I was going to check it the next day, I come back the next day or the next morning, and there's 2 sticks making an X over where the tuna fish was. And I found that very weird because the tree I put it in didn't have no broken branches. There wasn't hardly no trees around it. And we was off the beaten path. Something physically put these sticks and made an X where this tuna fish was. Now, they took the packet and ate all the tuna fish out of it. Actually still have it, and it has teeth marks on it. And it was not ripped open. It wasn't like a raccoon or anything did that, or a possum. And it wasn't drug off. It was placed on the ground, just like I set it up in the tree. It was placed at the base of on the ground. And I wonder if it was one of the Sasquatches that was coming towards us that night. We about made a buffet for him. But
man.
Yeah. Do you do much? They call it gifting, I guess. Do y'all do a lot of feeding, Sasquatch feeding? Up
no, we don't. I've left some things out for them a couple of times. But you tell you what, Nick, we're at the top of the hour right now. What we're going to do is we're going to take about a 10-minute break, 5 to 10-minute break. We're going to play a couple of songs here, give people enough time to run and use the restroom, step out and have a cigarette, refresh their beverages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on mute right now, bro. And, man, this guy is off the chain. Nick is cool. So, people, don't go nowhere. I'm telling you straight up, don't go nowhere. You don't want to miss any more of Nick. And so with that being said, stay tuned to MN.B.R.T Radio. We will be right back with more of MN.B.R.T Radio.
Go get your Red Bull.
This is Bob Gimlin.
And Cliff Barrickman.
And Tom Yammeru.
John Kirk.
Winona Lex.
And Jeffrey R. Thomas.
And you are listening to
MN.B.R.T Radio.
Oh, shit.
Nick.
What's up, brother?
Oh, man. So, I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
All right. Well, at least we're both somewhere then. We're having some.
Dude, this is awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. It's cool. Look, I don't know if I'm talking too much for you, but I just got so much stuff, so much stories and stuff to put out there, dude. I go back and try to think about stuff. Like, damn, it's starting to pile up. It's time to get a notebook out. But yeah, you still there, bro? Hey.
There you go. Are you there? Can you hear me now?
Gosh. Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay.
I'm here.
No, I was just saying we're still live. We something's going on with the switchboard. We can't go into a break or commercial. So let's just roll with it, man.
Okay, hell yeah. I'm ready. We'll keep rolling with it, bro. I was going to run inside real quick and give me a drink real fast. I hope I don't lose you in the process.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead, man.
Yeah. Man, is it as muggy in Minnesota as it is here? It's
I told you it was. If I told you it was muggy here in Minnesota, I'd be lying. I like the heat. I like the muggy. Bring it on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all right till all the ticks and stuff just bombard you. It's ridiculous here, man. You know, they just dive bomb out of the trees.
Off of trees, suicide ticks.
Yeah, trooping ticks. But let me see if the baby's asleep. I'm gonna tell you.
Spider.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I'm going to ask you, your grandfather's story, that's pretty intriguing in itself when he was fishing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay, yeah, sorry. She was putting him to sleep at the time, so I had to get out there. My cue to go. But, yeah, man, go ahead. Yeah. My grandfather, yeah. You know, it sunk in more and more over the years. Are we live yet?
Oh, yeah, we're live. We've been live. We can't do a commercial.
Okay.
We can't do
cool.
break, so we've been live.
Okay, sorry. All right, cool. Yeah, my baby's going to sleep. Sorry, guys. And, yeah, man, you know, hearing him say that back then and not having the knowledge I know now, you know, it was a little hard to put two and two together. But, you know, watching Harry and the Hendersons, you know, which I was probably about 5 or 6 when it come out, you know, it just a big red flag. I was like, Harry hippies. The hippies died out, you know, the early 70s. Or they're still there. They just don't come out much, like Bigfoot. But, you know, they had no clothes on and had hair. Now, I didn't know my grandfather to tell this story too often. You know, I never heard him tell my dad or anybody else in the family. And I don't know why he actually come out and told me about it. But, you know, I guess it was just a blessing. You know, it just, I don't know if he knew this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, or it was just a cool thing for me to get into. But, you know, he told me, and it just changed my life from then on out. You know, people even back then, they call you crazy for thinking Bigfoot's real, or there's UFOs, Loch Ness monster, you know, mermaids, all this other, you know, et cetera, creatures and monsters. But you know, it's just it just intrigued me, and the more, you know, I got monster books from when I was a kid. You know, I'd read and look into, and I'd watch Harry and the Hendersons over and over and over, and and you know, I watched Boggy Creek later on. Cool movie, just wasn't up with my time yet. And I thought Harry and the Hendersons, right? He just portrayed them out to be this species, you know, that wasn't out to harm humans, and you know how you know he said he had a Bigfoot, and everybody called him crazy too. You know, until people started having sightings and reportings, and just like they do, you know, around here. You know, every now and then you'll actually see something on our news channel around here that, you know, oh, well, so-and-so seen Bigfoot today, and, you know, and they almost kind of laugh it off. Well, that's when people like us need to step in, and if they don't contact us first, and, you know, investigate it. I mean, because there's so many, you know, reportings in Kentucky, and I know there is up your way too, and I guess y'all are the only ones that do research in Minnesota, are you? Or do y'all have other groups? Or
there's a couple other ones out there.
Is there? Okay. Cool. Yeah, we got quite a few in Kentucky, man. Because I found from Charlie, you know, around here they call them the Logan County Critters, which goes back, you know, 100 probably to 100, 200 years since people started settling here. And also the boogeyman. You know, people used to tell their kids, "Don't go outside. The boogeyman will get you." You know, they were talking about the boogeyman. You know, they were talking, the wood booger. They were talking about Bigfoot because, you know, our elders and before them, our great grandparents, you know, they all had encounters. Most of them did come out and say it, but you know, so most of them, a whole lot of them took it to their grave, and they dare not tell anybody in town or, you know, at the bar because they'd be the town crazy or the town drunk, labeled for the rest of their life. But
right.
Like I say, label me what you want. I know they're real, and they do exist. They are living, breathing specimens, just like ourselves. And
right.
And it's just amazing. And Charlie found out that every county in Kentucky has a different name for Sasquatch or Bigfoot. It has a different. It's crazy, absolutely crazy that none of these people were contacting each other saying, "Hey, let's have a national name this creature in the woods day" or anything like that. They, just come up with it. In the 1800s, early 1900s. Whenever the sightings and stuff, were reported, and they probably had monster hunts back then. When we go out monster hunting now, we don't take torches, do we?
No.
We got our therms out and night viz, but that's truly awesome. Man, my favorite part is taking newbies, taking people that really don't believe, and trying to prove them that hey, these creatures actually do exist, and I pray every time we go that they have an encounter. Most of them want to pack weapons, which I found out that's a big no-no, packing a weapon when you're going Sasquatching, because you could very well piss one off, and hear one or encounter one the size and know that they can push over trees and snap limbs, 12, 13 feet up in a tree that's big as around your leg. You really don't want to entice these creatures. You don't want to go pick in a fight with these guys. That's one thing I tell people. If you do encounter one, the Indians used to say, "Do not look them in the eyes," which that is I guess kind of an intimidation factor. And I can see what that.
It is within gorillas as well, and so yeah, are very key.
Oh yeah, and some humans, somebody looks at you wrong in the mall, staring you and your old lady down. Guess what? We're going to do the same animal instinct. They're going to piss us off. So, to all the squatchers out there, just be careful. And all I can say, and leave your weapons at home. Unless you do have, if you do take a weapon with you, take a little pocket banger, a little pocket pistol or something. But do it safely. Make sure it's on safety and not one in the chamber, guys. We do have a lot of accidents out here. Hopefully nobody gets hurt doing it. But Abe, going to to add another story to this great night. Check this out. 2 months. It's about exactly 2 months after I had my encounter on March 1st, 2015. I do a lot of hybrid fishing at Barren River Lake, so I catch these hybrids, bring them home, clean them, and I take the fish guts and all the remains, and I dump them out in the woods out back. And I'll chain my dogs up so they don't get a hold of them, and I'll put trail cams up. I try to bait, some of the predators around here to see what we got. I've got coyotes, I got bobcats, no panthers or cougars yet, but I do have a cougar claw mark where they mark their territory on a tree back here, like 75 feet behind my backyard. And it was as wide as my hand. It was a big cat. But that night that I got back from fishing the night before, cleaned up the next day, and I was going back here, and I was thinking about sitting up in my tree stand and maybe popping off a coyote or two, because they're starting to get a little too close for comfort with kids and everything around. So I'm going back there. I got my AR-22 over my shoulder and my 9mm on my hip. Well, I'm going back here, and I got a trail cam set up, facing the way that I'm walking. There's a big trail going back here. Trees are pushed over. There's limbs broke. You can tell that they're still around. It's amazing. I wish you could see the damage that these animals have done, or creatures have done behind my house. There's tree structures. It's just crazy, and it's all within 100, 200 yards from my back porch. And
man,
that night I was walking down through there, I kind of got this eerie feeling. When your hair starts to stand up, you kind of get goosebumps, and you feel like that sixth sense kicks in, and you can tell that somebody's watching you. I don't know if any of y'all have ever experienced it. When you're sleeping, you can tell when somebody's actually watching you or messing with you or whatnot. But I did. I got that real eerie feeling, and it was kind of like a sickness, in your gut, almost to the point of vomiting. And I couldn't smell them at the time or nothing like that, with the pungent smell of these dead fish in my hand. And I was just going to mount them up in a tree. Well, I drove a nail and I took them on a piece of wire and I strung them up, and I wrapped it around there. Well, my camera's sitting there. It's one of the older ones with the flash, and I've got one out with the infrared facing the other direction. Never had no activity on that to date. But with the one with the flash, I actually picked up this creature that night. And after I hung the fish, it just started feeling, even more eerie. And the sickness feeling kept coming. So I hightailed it out, out of the woods. I got to the point where, I was almost running because it almost sounded like something was trailing behind me on the trail. And I get back to the house, I'm sweating, and it was kind of cool that night, but I couldn't catch my breath. I think I was having a panic attack, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. And because I was just kind of overwhelmed with the feeling that I just felt. And, I felt so distraught, even the next morning, even while I was sleeping, I just didn't feel right, mentally. I don't know, people call it, they say they zap you or whatnot. I know some people say that, they can't even move, they get sick, they vomit, so on and so forth. I never vomited. I could, it was just a very weird, overwhelming feeling with your emotions and also the control of your body. I felt like I was kind of running, but, at the time it felt like you're in quicksand, or you got mud all over your boots and they're real heavy, like it's dragging you down. And it is just a very weird feeling. And the next day I get up, and I really didn't want to go back here and check my trail cam. I took my 9mm with me anyway. And, I pull the disc out, and I go back to the house, pop open the laptop and put it in. And, the first few pics, I had a couple deer on there before I went down the trail. Then it gets dark, and it was about 9 o'clock at night when all this happened. And I got a picture of eye shine coming down the trail, right where I was going to be coming. And it seemed very, very tall for, I got, there's some brush back there that's about 4 feet high. And in the next frame, you see me, excuse me, the next frame, you see it behind a tree, which is probably about 15 feet from the camera, 15, 20 feet from the camera. And it's ducked down and peeking around the tree, and you catch one eye, big eye, big eye, and you get the eye shine off of it. So it is like it almost knew that it could not get so close to where, it could be identified. I could just pick up the eye shine, and you can almost tell the shape of the figure, and you can tell it's bipedal on top of that. And, I come down the trail, the third pic is me walking down there with the fish in my hand, and this thing is dwarfing me in size, from where the eye shine was in the previous picture to where I'm standing. I had a headlamp on, so you could pretty much put, both pictures side by side, and you could see, it's clearly about 1.5 feet, 2 foot taller than me. I'm about 5'8".
Gee.
And I'm walking up to where I put the fish on the tree, which it was right across from the tree where I got the picture of it ducking down and peeking around the tree, looking at the camera. And the next frame, after I'm putting the fish in the tree, I'm standing there looking towards the camera, and that was at the time I was feeling real eerie, like somebody was watching me. And behind me, this thing steps out behind the tree and is looking down at me. It is so tall, it's actually looking down at me. The ground is flat. It was not a raccoon, and people's like, oh, it's a possum. They don't turn their head that way. It was standing by me, looking down at me. And I couldn't hear it. I couldn't smell it. I didn't know where it was at. and that's the scary feeling, I guess, that I felt. I didn't know at the time that that's what it was, but I just had that real bad feeling that something's not right here, and I need to get out of here.
So what do you think? What do you think it did to you, Nick?
I can almost say, like other people's encounters where they say they're zapped, but some of them get, like they're stuck in the mud and can't move at all. I don't know if I overbeared it or what, but I got the hell out of Dodge. I just did not feel comfortable at the time, and I pretty much, I don't know if they have some kind of telepathy or over the, you think that a very intelligent creature like this could not inhabit, or have a trait like telepathy, but sense where they can overpower people without them even seeing them. But there are so many accounts of this happening. I've actually talked to a guy at the Ohio conference that this actually happened to, and I don't know if you talked to him, but that same night he was taking pictures with a phone, and he catches eye shine like right over his forearm, probably 6 feet behind him. So he knew what I was talking about when I was saying there's just this sixth sense that they give to you, the sick feeling, the unwantedness, almost like you're. I don't know, it's weird. I've never had no ghost encounters, but I couldn't even compare it to a ghost. If I could, I'd say it would probably be the closest thing. Your hair standing up on end, goosebumps. You're just distraught. And I guess you can call it. I got zapped. Well, we'll say I got zapped.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever felt that, Abe. Have you ever, had that feeling in the woods? Maybe it's time to get out of here. Maybe something's not right, or I feel like you're being watched.
No, nothing in the woods. Just pretty much with my ex, but that's about it.
That's understandable. It can get kind of hairy right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh man, that's cool. Well, whenever you do, I don't know if there's any listeners out there that have had that feeling, but I definitely know a couple of people I've talked to that have had that actual feeling of being zapped and almost stuck into place, and the feeling of unwantedness, like to get out of here, and for something bad. Excuse me, before something bad happens.
Yeah, no, it's like an imaginary invisible wall that you can't take one step forward. You can't go past a certain point. You got to turn around. You feel like your life's in threat and you're in danger.
Right.
And
like you're a puppet.
It feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You feel really heavy. Your legs feel like they're stuck in cement. I know I've had this relayed to me, but no, I've never been zapped. I think I may have had a small zap at one time.
Yeah.
But I think that was just my own anxiety building up inside of me. But as far as being totally surrendered, helpless, or losing with my ball bearings, I guess you could say. No, I have not. I don't think 17 years. No, and I'm pretty sure I remember something like that. So no,
yeah.
I don't believe I have.
And I don't know if it's a certain distance you have to be from them before they can actually engage it. It's still something that's up for grabs in the scientific field that just has not been studied enough. And just like you say, we don't have a live specimen to go over, it's just amazing all the different stories that come from people and the different feelings and the different encounters. And I've experienced so much in the past 3 years that, I've experienced more than some people have in, doing squatching for 30, 40 years. And, I give kudos to those people that stuck with it for so long, not knowing or having some of the encounters that I have. And I just feel, truly blessed that I have. And, I just hope people don't think I'm crazy and just making this stuff up. But, truly, guys, I'm not. This is, I'm 100% real. I'm 100% realist. You know, this is all fact, and this is, you know, even some of the people that I've been with can vouch for, you know, some of the encounters that we've had. You know, but mainly the activity around the house has been the most interesting, especially with me not having to find Bigfoot. Bigfoot found me, and I actually have a shirt that says that, and my wife picked it out on the internet, and I love her to death for it. She's always surprising me with Bigfoot memorabilia and clothes and leggings and stuff like that. I love her. She's really you know, pushing me on in the Bigfoot field. You know, even though I don't get to go as much, you know, with the kids and all, but you know, eventually they'll get big enough and we'll just all go together, and it'll just be like a family Bigfoot outing. But you can do it camping.
Yeah, if you want to call it that, I call it like ulterior motive. Yeah, I got baked now. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I know. I'm not going to mention no names, Charlie Raymond, but he's actually used a Girl Scout group as bait. You know, so they are. I do think they feel less threatened with women and children. A lot of face-to-face encounters happen, you know, to women and children. A lot of children have encounters, you know, that they came, you know, it's probably later in life before they actually bring it on out, because all kids are crazy. And, you know, I just think they give them that sense of you know, wanting this, you know, that it's okay to come near them and watch them. And, you know, so, yeah, you know, I've taken my kids out, you know, Bigfooting a couple of times. And, you know, Charlie took the Girl Scouts out that night, and they actually had you know, they was walking this catwalk, and they did some whoops and tree knocks and stuff, and they get, and this, it's like a deck that goes all the way around this pond. The location just goes, I can't say where it's at. It's one of our hot spots, and they hear this like something jumped out of a tree and boom, you know, landed on the deck, and then took off. And Charlie jumped, you know, he's 220, 230 pounds. You know, he's a big piece of meat, big stocky guy. Jumped up and down on the deck, could not even make a similar, you know, account to what they just heard. And,
right.
You know, then so he got up on the bench and jumped off it, and you know, still nothing. You know, it had to be 500, 600, 700 pounds that fell on that deck, maybe even more. But you know, I do believe that kids and women, you know, like I say, are bait. We could use them as bait, just as long as we protect them, and it doesn't scare them half to death, and you know, where they won't go out in the woods anymore. But yeah, man,
yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. Do you get to take yours out very often, or are they like, no, I'm gonna stay behind on this one?
No, I don't get to take my kids out with me. I have as much as I would like. So, but
yeah.
You know, somewhere down the road, probably most likely. I know that my youngest one, we call him Littlefoot, or I call him Littlefoot.
That's what we call mine.
Right on.
That's
man.
cool. That's good.
So when he was when he was a little one, I mean, I took a picture of him with one of the Patty castings and Dr. Melgam's book, Legend Meets Science, and a couple other things. And yeah, I put Researcher in Training was the title of that picture. But yeah, maybe something down the road, you know, definitely.
Yeah. It's one thing you can't definitely push them into.
Oh no, because you know, if you force it upon them, they'll just like, oh, I don't want to do it. Forget about it, you know. So that's how I think. I mean, that's how I see it. But Nick, I want to hear more. What is your most scariest encounter? Was that the one you just relayed to us when you got zapped and the thing was right over you? Man.
Yeah, by far, man. That was the eeriest, uneasy feeling I've ever felt in my life. And I've been in some pretty crazy predicaments to where, you know, you think you get that scared. And I guess you can call it a sense of being scared, because I actually was, you know, at the time and even afterwards. It kind of shook me up. even a couple of days after the fact. I was kind of scared to go into the woods without a gun, just knowing what these creatures can actually do to you. After hearing them snap limbs, and push trees over, and the impressions they make. Just the pure size and strength. They say a chimpanzee has the strength of 10 men, and they're smaller than we are. So imagine a 8 to 10 foot tall creature that's 800 pounds to 1,000. Some of the biggest. What kind of damage they could do to you? So yes, it does bring a sense of fear over over your body, over your mind, and some people it turns them away. Some people it draws them in. Which after it sunk in, it drew me in. I wanted more. I want that feeling again. And I hope pray one day you get one like it. Yeah. And I hope you get an encounter like that someday too. It's mind-boggling. The sheer weakness that can make you feel. Yeah. The feeling of shitting your pants. Yeah. So I recommend squatchers out there take an extra pair of underwear. Mostly Duluths because you can't bust them.
The whitey tighties. There you go. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't bust them, but I would recommend extra underwear. Even double bag them sometimes. You never know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, double up. No doubt. Forget the underwear. Put on the Depends. That's run through my mind, brother. It's run through my mind. Believe it or not. It just depends on the encounter. You just don't know. Let me ask you this, Nick.
What's up?
You said that you get a lot of good luck with doing the wood knock and the tree knocking and stuff like that.
Yes, I do.
And it seems like that's one of their more primarily ways of communication with each other down there.
Yeah, and we're still trying to decode, the formation of it. One knock. What does that mean to them? 2 knocks, 3 knocks, and even that, they can even go about how far they're spaced out. If it's 1 knock and then they wait like 10, 20 seconds and knock again. What does that mean to the Sasquatches, and how can we figure that out? It's kind of a game of cat and mouse that we're playing with them, and it's just fun to try to play Sherlock Holmes with them and try to understand, their theories and methods of how to elude the humans, and they've done a pretty damn good job at it, so far, and I kudos the Squatch because he sure is a master of disguise and wood ninja, as you put it, and because they just it's unreal, the possibilities of communication that Sasquatch could put between each other. We've had even Charlie has had Charlie Raymond has had a 10 knock, 10 knocks, pow 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 pow. And, what does that mean? Like, get the hell out of Dodge, or, the party's over here, or what? It's just so hard to determine, unless you have an actual encounter at the time or draw them in with a certain number of knocks. So you do 2 knocks or 3 knocks, and you actually have one coming into you. You hear it, or you actually get a visual on it, and that's about the only way that we can decipher their code, if you know what I mean. But it's truly a game of cat and mouse, brother. It truly is. And we have a lot of luck in Kentucky. A lot of luck in Kentucky with wood knock. I don't. How is it in Minnesota with the knock?
Wood knocking seems here to be their primary way of communication as well. We've heard wood knock in Iowa, and it was followed by a whoop. And it was I'm sorry. Yeah. It was a woo, then followed by a wood knock, and to me that alerted the other ones that were in the area that, hey, humans are around. So That's what I took. That's what I think that might be all about.
Right.
You know, so
I think the whistle goes along with that too. We believe,
sure.
You know, we've discussed, the KBRO and some other private investigators. The whistle, like that one me and Charlie heard that night, was like telling another one, "Hey, there's a human over here." And then shortly afterwards, I think they tried to run us off with the tree pushover. It's startling to hear a tree pushover that close. And I think that's why they could do tree pushovers. I don't think they do tree pushovers just out of this looks like a widow maker. Let's go and push it on down. I think they're trying to intimidation factor. Like their growls or their they call them bluff charges. Also. But yeah, definitely their communication skills are beyond fathom of what we have even touched base with, to date.
Yeah.
So, but we're finding it out, brother. Slowly, slowly and surely, we're gonna decode them. It may be 100 years from now, but who knows? We're trying.
and that's what it's all about, man. Is going down there, documenting, taking your notes. Every time we go out into their environment, we're stepping into a classroom. They're the teachers. Whether class is in or is totally up to them if they want to teach us or not.
Right. And, that's the thing I say to most people. They're like, well, I've hunted for 25, 30, 40 years, and I've never seen a Bigfoot, never seen a Sasquatch. So that's why I don't believe it. Well, sometimes, you walk into my house and you don't know my house. I could hide from you very easily and elude you if you're a burglar or something because I know my house. Same thing with the Sasquatch in the woods. You're stepping into their house. They're so keen on sense of, you put a trail cam up, they notice stuff like that. They notice where humans have been in the woods. We are very messy creatures. We shuffle our feet. They can tell where we're walking. We smell funny like Polo and Gucci Man, and it's just wild. And that people think that they don't exist because they have not seen them, or they have not had an encounter, and they have been out in the woods their whole life. Well, there's been a lot of researchers that have not actually seen one over years of research, but they still believe and they know just by the facts that have rolled in.
I'm one of them. I admit, I've never seen one in 17 years, but I had a lot of Class B encounters. The co-founder of my team, he got to see one chase me. So, and I've known him since like high school. Thing that I was hearing was all lining up. So I know that they're out there just from my own Class B experiences. Besides of being bluff charged or chased by one on our very first exhibition,
right.
We've also had them come up to us here in Minnesota in two different research areas, doing two different things, which is wild. One was during the daytime, and the other one was at nighttime. So
really,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's
that's stoking right there. That makes you want to just stay for an extra day, don't it?
Dude, let me share this with you. Dog. So,
all right, go ahead.
I'm getting prepared. I'm getting ready to go on a northern Minnesota expedition.
Right.
And there's this guy in this private property his brother actually owns the private property, and he's a bigger guy. And he acquired this property about 4 years ago. And when they first started coming out of the property, his brother had a camper, and his camper would have come up, and something would hit the camper would shake and everything like that. They would hear wood knocking, they'd hear vocalizations, they'd have objects thrown at them. And so finally, Lord has blessed me enough where I talked with the guy's brother who owns the property, and he's going to grant us access on there. So this Saturday, I'm stoked. So yeah. Oh yeah,
so you're going this Saturday, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to be
making me jealous.
This coming Saturday, man, is going to be we're going to be at that private location. Other than that, I'm going to be hitting the woods leaving Wednesday sometime.
Okay, well, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Well, I wish y'all the best of luck. And then, hope you all get to a good encounter or your visual, get your actual visual, man. It's definitely a life-changing experience, and you know, which you already believe in them anyway, and already know that they are existing. It just adds to it tenfold, man. It's unbelievable. You know, just the more stuff you find out, and then to have a visual on top of it, you know, man. Eventually your day's going to come. Oh man, eventually it's going to come. You know,
I know.
But you know, I didn't do a whole lot of research before I had my encounter. That's why I always say Bigfoot found me. You know, I didn't go find Bigfoot, and so he drew me in. 100%. You know, I was a big hunter, fisherman before then. Now I do a little bit more squatching. You know, and I leave my gun at home, and you know, on top of that, you get great exercise, plenty of hiking. You know, it's just good for your body, good for your soul. You get to get out, you know, release stress, and you know, put the world behind you, and try to solve one of the world's biggest mysteries. You know, and it could even go into, you know, the existence of man. You know, where they went wrong or where we went right. You know, who knows? We're still not at that point yet. And there's a lot of scientists and spectators out there that speculate that, you know, maybe that we are a descendant of them, or maybe they're a part Neanderthal or something like that. But you know, even the fact that, you know, they could be alien. They could be an alien race that come from like Chewbacca. You know, they really took it in Star Wars. You know, actually, he was a believer in Bigfoot. That's why he put Chewbacca as like a Bigfoot figure in Star Wars, because he believed in Bigfoot. It's pretty cool fact. You know.
That is very cool. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, bro. I mean, that's not right. So, in your research, what's your mission? I mean, what's your statement? What do you want to do? Are you? I take it you're no, right?
Right. You know, mainly my goal is just to, you know, try to prove the fact of their existence, and just to turn so many heads and change so many minds that have disagreed with us and kind of look down on the Bigfoot community, saying that there's no way that they could exist, or but actually, truly, the more I dig into it, it could sound crazy to some people, but I truly think it's a government cover-up. You know, I don't want no black vehicles to show up at my truck here in about an hour and kind of duct tape me and take me out in the woods and leave me. If you never hear from me tonight, you know, come looking for me. But I think that you know, it's a government cover-up to keep the forestry programs alive. And, you know, if you mark this species as an endangered species, like the Spotted Owl Act that happened. You know, it shut down the forestry programs, and a lot of money was lost, you know, over months to come. So, you know, when they lifted it, the government lifted it, and went back to logging. And you just don't hear that many more endangered species being added to the list, even though they're going extinct every year. You know, the wolves, some wolves are on the verge of extinction, and you know, some other predators, you know, bears are being hunted, and you know, they're just not being put on the list because it's going to shut down, you know, our government's money. You know, they're going to make their money one way or the other, and there's, you know, really nothing that we can do about it, as we've seen in the past. But just like you said, Mount St. Helens, you know, there was actual people that seen helicopters, military helicopters, come off the mountainside where the lava overflowed, and there was nets with arms and legs with hair on them, flying over their heads, you know. And it wasn't just one; it was a couple netfuls. You know, it was a couple families of Sasquatch that actually, bless their hearts, that, you know, their life was took from them from a volcano eruption, and you know, and it was completely 100% covered up, you know, and there's quite a few people that witnessed this. it's just a really neat story. And, to come from so many people, how could that be falsified or made up? It's just, there's just some stuff that where so many people see something happen, you can't just write it off.
No.
A hoax or it's like the Patterson-Gimlin films have caught so much scrutiny. Oh, it's a monkey suit. And actually Charlie Raymond had a woman that big investigator. I'm sure you heard of her. I'm not going to miss no more names. But, she found out that just like the Planet of the Apes suits, they cost almost $200,000 to make. Now, I don't know too many people out there with that much money, which would spend $200,000 because all these hairs are, intricately, precisionally put into these suits to make them look so lifelike, that you couldn't tell the difference, between a real one and their fake suits. So, with that being said, who would have the money and the like my word I made up, dumbassity. Who would go out there and fake a Bigfoot sighting and then take off and be like, oh, well, don't even say, hey, that was me, abracadabra, that's me, I did it. I want to take the credit for it. Nobody takes credit for, faking a Bigfoot encounter other than the ones that actually are out there and running out in front of cars and getting hit, like we had one not too long ago.
Yeah, I remember that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's a real easy way to find out if it's real or fake. You get hit by a car and your mask come off, you're not real. But to have the money to produce the suit to be so lifelike, and like in the Patterson-Gimlin film, you could see the muscle definition in Patty as she walked.
Yeah.
And her stride, her stride was not human-like. Her arm gait was. There's not too many people with arms that reach down to their kneecaps, and especially being 7.5 feet tall and weighing 600 to 800 pounds, that'd be real hard to do being 26 miles away from any civilization, and you're just out there in the middle of the woods just waiting for somebody like Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson to just come along and stumble upon them. They're sitting out there sweating to death in a monkey suit. Come on. They're we have to be kicked out at some point. We have to, put our brains on the table and say, hey, there's no way this could have happened. And there's people still today that say it's a fake. It was a hoax. There's actually, well, there was a guy that come out and said he actually hoaxed it, right? But there's no way he hoaxed it, with what we know now in the Bigfoot field. And
you're talking about, I think you're talking about Bob Romanus.
Yeah, and just like Jeff Meldrum, in his presentation at the Ohio conference that he used there too, it was awesome. And Jeff Meldrum, if none of y'all have ever studied any of his work, he's amazing. He's truly done a whole lot for the Bigfoot community. His knowledge in footprints, he has the largest collection in casts in the world, and he could tell the difference from fake prints and real prints. So guys, don't try to make a print and go out there with a 2x4 and try to make it. We'll send it off and he'll decode it. I guarantee it. But it was awesome how he put science into the the Patterson-Gimlin film, and pretty much proved to everybody that it was not a fake. And but what about that 3D cast or the 3D skeleton that they made for him? How awesome was that for the bone, just the bone mass? The bone mass is way more than me and you combined, probably.
No doubt.
It's amazing. And the mid-tarsal break, he talks about that a lot. I actually have a print that I casted in my front yard showing the mid-tarsal break in quite a few prints.
Cool.
I sure do. And man, we was in a hurry to get out of town for the Ohio conference, and I actually left my cast. I was wanting to show Meldrum and actually give him my hair sample to take off with him if he wanted to further it. And I, believe it or not, I left it at home, sitting on the table, on my pool table downstairs. So, yeah, I really kicked my ass on that one. But I'll meet him again. You know, we'll cross paths again, and he does a whole lot of work, you know, around here. And you know, people out there, if you do not know of Jeff Meldrum, look him up, check him out, YouTube him, Google him. You know, he's awesome, very awesome, and he proves a lot of you know, a fake to fact, and that's the cool part about it. And you know, even though I'm not a science major, I actually, you know, you really got to get on a science level to understand the biology of these animals. And it's just awesome to learn all this and just keep learning and learning. You know, Abe, I'm an electrician, and in our field, you know, I've done this for 10 years now, and you can never learn everything about electricity. It's always changing, and it's just like in the Bigfoot field. You know, you can't ever learn enough. Once you think you know it all, if there's somebody out there that thinks they know it all about Bigfoot, you know, I'm sorry to tell you, but you don't. There's going to be something else that comes along that will stump you. But
yeah,
you know,
you got that right. So let me ask you this, man. We're almost time up here with the show. You got any tips or words of wisdom or advice to tell people who are just starting to get into this research or future squatchers?
Right. You know, I'll just tell them, you know, the only way to figure anything out in this field is to get out there and get your boots on the ground and do your research. Even if you don't believe in them, if you want to prove us wrong, you know, get your boots on the ground. Get out in the woods. Go camp. The best thing to do, guys, go camping. There's so many camping stories. Even I have a couple. You know, I'm not going to get into it now. It's just another story I have for you that we'll talk a later date. But camping is one of the main. You know, there's so many encounters camping. Get out there, take your kids camping, take your wife camping. Don't tell them about Bigfoot yet if they don't know about them. And see if you can't have you an encounter, guys. I mean, it's truly life changing. It could scare some of you, or it could intrigue some of you. Could bring you into our field. And there's more squatchers being brought in, you know, day by day, year by year, especially with thanks to finding Bigfoot and you know, mountain monsters. You know, intrigues a lot of kids' minds. And you know, it's just try to separate your fact from fake, and you know, use your common sense. And the main thing, get your boots on the ground, guys. I mean, you're not going to find Bigfoot sitting on your couch unless you're lucky as I am, you know, where he comes straight to my house, which there is, you know, it happens sometimes. But now I'm out of my house. He drew me out, and I'm looking all the time for him. You know, I'm looking right now as I'm walking up and down my road. But it's just amazing what you will find out, guys. You know, once you get out into the Bigfoot field and cast aside that we're a bunch of crazies, we're actually some of the most, I guess, fun-spirited, loving. You know, I've never met nobody in our field that I really didn't like. Everybody's so cool and down to earth, and you know, if you haven't been on an expedition, sign up for an expedition. B.F.R.O., K.B.R.O., Minnesota. I'm sure y'all have them too there. Just get out, guys, and try to learn as much as you can, and try to help us bring the fact of Bigfoot to life for the rest of the world. And you know, that's about all I can tell you. And be safe out there, guys. Really, be safe. Leave your guns at home. If you do take one, unload it. So, yeah,
and have
be safe.
fun.
Be safe. That's the main thing. Have fun. If you're not having fun, you know, my main motto is, you know, if you're not out living, you're dying. You know, it's your choice. You know, sit at home, die on the couch, it's your thing. But if you want to get out and live a little, go do some squatching, guys. I promise you, it will not disappoint you. And you know, I know my brother Abe here can vouch for that.
Oh, shoot, left and right, up and down, no doubt about it. We don't clown.
That's true, dude.
Nick,
That's so
thank
true.
you so much for coming on and being
thank
tonight's on MN.B.R.T Radio. I have had a blast with you. You made me.
Me too, brother. Me too.
I don't know how hard. I had tears. I had to wipe my eyes from tears a couple times. It was awesome. Thank you again, man.
Hey, no problem, brother. As long as you didn't bust your Duluth, we're doing all right.
I just want to encourage you, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. Get out in the woods. We'd love to have you back somewhere on a future episode of MN.B.R.T Radio. And you know what?
Thank you.
We'll stay in contact, man.
All right, brother. Hey, man. Hey, same to you, man. Cool, very cool guy. Hey, if y'all don't know Abe, get to know my man Abe here. He's awesome. He's an awesome guy. Does a lot of good research. And all I got to say, guys, keep it squatchy out there.
All right. Thank you, Nick. You have a good night. Right. God bless.
Hey, good luck this weekend, brother. We'll see you later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, besides Nick, we want to thank all of our listeners, of course, for tuning in to another episode of MN.B.R.T Radio. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Kind of debating on doing a show next Monday, seeing how I will be in the field that Sunday. So if not this coming Monday, then let's see if we can do something for the next Monday. With that being said, again, thank you one and all so very, very, very much. And God bless, good night, and Squatch on!
MN.B.R.T Radio thanks you for tuning in and making us a part of your home. Be sure to tune in next week at the same time for another great show. Be sure to check out MN.B.R.T Radio on Facebook and like the page to keep up with the show and to leave any questions or comments. The truth is out there waiting to be discovered. Squatch on!
Hola, soy Lola. No puedo contestar tu llamada. Hoy voy a luchar contra la máscara vengadora. Si gano, usaré el dinero para pagar por nuestro plan familiar de datos. Claro, pesa 300 libras, pero una vez tomé una clase de karate. Quizá ya es hora de un switch.
¿Atrapado en un mal plan familiar? Haz el switch al mejor plan familiar de Boost y obtén 4 líneas, cada una con gigas sin límite por solo $100 al mes. MetroPCS solo te da 2 gigas por línea por el mismo precio. 4 líneas, cada una con gigas sin límite por solo $100 al mes. Es fácil hacer el switch y más fácil ahorrar con Boost.
Hola, soy Lola. No puedo contestar tu llamada. Hoy voy a luchar contra la máscara vengadora. Si gano, usaré el dinero para pagar por nuestro plan familiar de datos. Claro, pesa 300 libras, pero una vez tomé una clase de karate. Quizá ya es hora de un switch.
¿Atrapado en un mal plan familiar? Haz el switch al mejor plan familiar de Boost y obtén 4 líneas, cada una con gigas sin límite por solo $100 al mes. MetroPCS solo te da 2 gigas por línea por el mismo precio. 4 líneas, cada una con gigas sin límite por solo $100 al mes. Es fácil hacer el switch y más fácil ahorrar con Boost.